Hello, second grade. Welcome back to another week of distance learning. This week, we're going to be learning about insects and arrays. I'm super excited. So let's jump right in. Okay, we're going to read our book about insects. And here we have the table of contents. As we know, most nonfiction books have a table of contents that tells us exactly where we can look for something specific. Second grade, today we are going to be practicing the strategy of taking notes while we're reading. So I want to remind you, anytime you're reading nonfiction and you're taking notes, you want to write down anytime that you learn something new. You want to take notes if you see an important image. So if there's an important picture in the book. You want to write down if you have a question. So if you come across something and you're not exactly sure what it is, you write it down so you can do more research on it after you finish reading. You will write down anytime you encounter a word that you don't know so you can look it up. And the last one that you want to write down is anytime you finish a section that you want to remember or you have an important idea. All right, second grade, so if you want to pause this to grab a piece of paper, go ahead and do that now, and I want you to take notes on those things as I'm reading. What is an insect? An ant is an insect. So is a grasshopper and a moth. How are they alike? Count their legs. Adult insects have 6. This is more than birds, lizards, or mice. Spiders and ticks creep around on 8 legs, so they're not insects either. But beetles, cockroaches, and water bugs are. A flower beetle crawls around on 6 legs. It is an insect. Question: how many kinds of insects are there? Answer: so far, scientists have discovered about 1 million. They are finding more every day. This beetle has 3 body sections. While looking at a butterfly or a bee, also count its body parts. How many do you see? Adult insects have 3 main parts. They have head, that's where their mouth, eyes, and antenna are, 6 legs that poke out of their thorax or middle, and their tail end is called the abdomen. Question: what are antennae used for? They are sensors that can touch, smell, and taste. Adult insects have an exoskeleton. This outer shell serves as armor. It protects their soft bodies. Most insects can fly. Just look at mosquitoes, wasps, and dragonflies. Even beetles flitter about. Beetles have a pair of hard outer wings. Hidden under them, they have a set of soft wings. They use the soft wings to fly. An insect sheds its hard exoskeleton. So this might look like 2 insects in the picture here, but actually it's one. This is the insect and it's shedding its exoskeleton. This beetle eats flower petals. Eat or be eaten. What do insects eat? Just about anything. They munch on plants and animals. Some even eat trash. Insects have many ways to get food. Locusts, butterflies, and aphids all eat plants. Locusts chew on leaves with their powerful jaws. Butterflies suck up nectar with tube-like mouths. Tiny aphids have needle-like mouth parts. They poke them into plants to feed. Some insects are predators. Praying mantises snatch up other insects with powerful front legs. Large water bugs swim under the water to catch small fish and frogs. Still, other insects are parasites. Mosquitoes and fleas bite animals. Then they suck up the animal's blood. Lice feed on the skin, blood, and feathers of animals. A water strider is a predator. It makes a meal of another insect. Question: do insects feed on people? Answer: mosquitoes do. So do some flies, fleas, and lice. Bed bugs bite people when they sleep. This Venus flytrap caught a bug to eat. What eats insects? Just about every type of animal. They are food for many birds, bats, lizards, snakes, frogs, and fish. Fish and mice. And mice also eat insects. Even some plants do. Luckily, insects have ways to protect themselves. Some moths look like tree bark. Their camouflage makes it hard to spot them. Wasps have stingers. Ants have pincers. And stink bugs just smell too bad to eat. Question: do people eat insects? Answer: yes, in South America, some people fry up ants and they snack on them like popcorn. Where do insects live? Insects live almost everywhere. Insects are found wherever there is food. This includes treetops and ponds. They can live in caves under the ground. Insects are found in people's homes and trash. Insects can live in harsh habitats. Ironclad beetles need little water. They live in dry deserts. Arctic beetles are hardly enough to survive in snow and ice. They're hardy enough to survive in snow and ice. An ironclad beetle survives in the dry desert. Honeybees live in colonies and work together to make honey. Some insects live in colonies. They work as a team to gather food. Leafcutter ants cut up large leaves. They carry the pieces back to their nest to make food. Colonies also protect their hives. If a hornet nest is bothered, angry hornets swarm out. They may sting animals who get too close to their hive. Question: how large can insect colonies get? Answer: some hornet and wasp colonies may have hundreds of insects. Ant colonies can number in the thousands. This butterfly lays eggs on a leaf. The babies will eat the leaves when they hatch. Metamorphosis. After mating, a female insect lays her eggs. She may bury them in the ground. Some females may place them on a plant. Others will even put them inside a dead animal. The eggs just need to be near food. Young insects are very hungry when they hatch. They are called larvae. Many larvae are too small to find food on their own. Some larvae are very different than adult insects. They look like worms. You'd call them caterpillars or grubs. Others look like adults. They are just smaller and don't have wings. Young insects eat to grow quickly. A larva may go from a tiny speck to a fat caterpillar in weeks. Some insects look like tiny adults when they hatch. All larvae go through a change called metamorphosis. For some insects, they just get bigger and grow wings. But butterflies, beetles, and bees are different. They go through a pupa stage. They wrap themselves in a cocoon. Their bodies change. They grow legs and wings. When they burst out, they are adult insects. This butterfly is ready to come out of its cocoon. A bee spreads pollen from flower to flower as it eats nectar. Question: can insects harm people? Answer: most can't, but some insects like mosquitoes carry diseases. They can infect a person with a bite. Insects in the world. Many people think insects are pests. They bite, they sting, but every animal has a purpose. When a bee lands on a flower, pollen gets trapped on its hairy legs. The bee buzzes off. It spreads pollen to other plants. These plants need the pollen to make seeds. Insects are nature's garbage collectors. Roll over a fallen tree. Underneath, there will be all sorts of hungry critters. You might find ants, beetles, and even some grubs. Insects clean up nature. They eat dead animals, fallen trees and leaves, and animal waste. You might not always like insects. They can be pests, but they have important jobs to do. Wasps eat fallen fruit before it rots. Very good, second grade. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing any notes that you took. On your class kick today, we will be looking at, let's see, at this page, page 17. Now, I will want you to practice your note-taking page on this page. So there's going to be a picture of this page on Class Kick, and you're going to write down notes, remembering those 5 things we take notes on. So any new information you learned, an important image, if you have a question, if you find a word that you don't know, or anything important that you want to remember or an idea that you have. Awesome. Okay, second grade, for math today, we're going to be looking at arrays. So we're going to be building on that repeated addition that we learned last week and adding a little bit to it. So I want to show you what I mean when I say array. Okay, here you can see an array of cupcakes. So the problem says the chef baked cupcakes. She arranged them into rows of 4. If she had 3 rows of 4 cupcakes, how many were there in all? So before we get started, I want to review repeated addition. So I have 3 rows of 4. So that would be 4 plus 4 plus 4. I have 3 rows of 4. So I know that 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 4 is 12. So my answer is 12. Now, I can also state it as 3 rows of 4. Second grade, I want to quickly review rows and columns. These are rows going across, and columns are going down. If I were to say 4 rows of 3, that's not the correct way to say it. I want to make sure I say 3 rows of 4 because I have 3 rows and there are 4 items in each row. So now for our multiplication problem, we have 3 times 4 equals 12. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to come and practice on our own. Okay, we are going to do 4 problems together, and then you will have some to work on Class Kick on your own. Okay, so for the first one, I have 2 rows of 2. So I'm going to write 2 rows of 2. And I'm going to write my multiplication problem, 2 times 2. Second grade, basically what I'm looking for is the total amount of squares in each picture. So 2 times 2 equals 4. Very good. Okay, let's look at this problem. I have 3 rows. So I'm going to write 3 rows of, and I have 1, 2, 3 in each row. 3 rows of 3. So as a multiplication problem, that's going to be 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Perfect. Now let's count and make sure that we did that correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Second grade, really quickly, I'm going to draw your attention back to that repeated addition. So if I have 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is going to equal 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. So we have the same answer. Perfect. All right, let's go to the next one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 rows of 2. because there are two squares. There are two squares in each row. So 4 times 2 equals 8. There are 8 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and we can also write 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. Because I know 2 plus 2 is 4, 2 plus 4 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to clear my screen to make that a little bit tidier so we can focus on this last problem. Okay, second grade, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 rows of 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 rows of 3. So 4 times 3 equals, I can do my 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. I know 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 plus 3 is 6, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So let's count and see how many we have all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, perfect. Okay. All right, second grade, there's going to be some array practice on ClassKick, and there will be directions on there for you. I also want you guys to know that I switched your reflex over, and you're now practicing multiplication, because just like those addition facts, you can memorize your multiplication facts as well. And I want you to start practicing on that. All right, second grade, have a great day.